Hola a todos, Levi here with Latino Fluency, where I make videos on Spanish, Portuguese, and Latin America. In today's video, I'm going to talk very briefly about my podcast, the Latino Fluency Podcast. This is a podcast that I created focusing on helping you improve your Spanish listening skills and also your confidence with the Spanish language. So this podcast is essentially an immersion podcast. So either I am speaking in Spanish by myself on an episode, or I have a guest, usually my girlfriend who is Mexican, and we have conversations in Mexican, primarily Mexican Spanish, talking about different topics. And we try to keep it very informal. That's why I say Mexican Spanish. So we use different slang and different idioms, things like that within our conversations. I decided to make this podcast more Mexican Spanish centric because number one, I really learned the majority of my Spanish in Mexico, and number two is because I really feel like that, from my experience, that if you are focusing and learning one dialect when you're learning Spanish, just focusing on one, that your results are going to be much greater and happen much faster, because that is, in my experience again, one of the most difficult things about learning Spanish is that you have all of these different dialects to choose from. Mexican Spanish, Spanish from Spain, Spanish from Argentina, Colombian Spanish, etc. You have so many varieties that I feel like when you're learning, focus on one. Get really good at one. And then you have all the freedom and ability to then begin learning other idioms and other words, other accents from other Spanish dialects. I promise, this is just from my experience, I think it will simplify the entire learning process for you. So I wanted to create this video to just talk a little bit about my podcast, and then you can hear from my mouth what it is, why I created it, and how it can help you. So one of the most important things about this podcast is definitely going to be the premium membership of the podcast. And this is basically what I try to do is take every single episode, which is just a conversation in Spanish, and I try to take it and just break it down for you in the members only zone. So when you become a member, you are basically just going to have every episode, a transcript for the episode, and there will be highlights within there to be able to see key words, key expressions. And then I take that transcript and I'm breaking it down into show notes. I'm going to have some audio supplements as well. A lot of things that you're going to be able to see in there will help you really begin to comprehend what it is you're hearing. And at the bottom of every episode, you will have a discussion forum. And you can ask questions, leave comments, and I try to come in within, at least 24 to 48 hours and give you my feedback. So that way, my hope is that by the end of everything that you've gone through, the transcript, the show notes, the grammar explanations, the audio supplements, that you will be able to then really understand everything very well, so that when you go back and listen again and practice your listening, you're going to feel like, wow, I really comprehend, I really understand this conversation. I feel like that I could jump in the middle of this conversation and contribute, and I could have this kind of conversation in the near future. So that is the goal. And to become a member right now, as of today, this is, what are we at? Mid-June. So if you just go to the website, latinofluency.com, and the link is actually down below, you can very simply on the home screen just leave your name and email. I'm creating an email list. I'm sending you updates as I am right now building out the members only program, and I will send you updates here this month and next month. The goal is really to have it ready for August. So that's the plan. If you think this is something that would help you, from my experience, this is something that will absolutely help you by listening, by improving your listening skills. You will absolutely be improving your speaking ability as well. And not only that, but also your confidence, which is super important. It's so key to developing fluency in any language, is having high level of confidence and feeling comfortable with the language. So that is all for today's video. I hope I kept it short, sweet, and concise. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them down in the comments below. Again, you can check out this podcast here at my YouTube channel and also on Spotify. I'm working this month and next month to try to get it to other platforms such as iTunes, Stitcher. There's a few other ones as well. So just to make it a bit easier for you to find it with whatever platform that you prefer to use. That is all for today's video. Muchas gracias de nuevo. Muchas gracias por haberme escuchado y espero verte en el próximo video. Adiós.